On Tuesday, Senator Glenn Grothman was surrounded by angry protesters after getting locked out of the state capitol. Now it's the protesters who feel locked out. They were yelling outside his office while we interviewed Grothman about limited access to the Capitol.
We cannot allow the type of people who you hear outside in the background just to chant slogans and see if they can prevent the office workers in this building from doing their business.
Protesters like Maureen Carlson believe they are being shut out. She is joining the hundreds who have put up Post-it notes on doors to the Capitol. Her note promotes a website to keep the Capitol open.
It's a visual petition. You can look at these notes and see all the colors and all the voices of the people of Wisconsin.
Assembly Democrats like Andy Jorgensen moved their desks outside the building, suggesting it was the only way to meet with constituents.
This is your building, not Scott Walker's place.
Democrat Brett Hulsey blames Governor Walker for all the tension in the Capitol.
I think that when you look behind you and you see the people here, they've sort of turned the people's house into their own house.
Well, that's because the people have been shut out of our house.
It was Hulsey who stepped in on Tuesday to help Grothman as he was surrounded by protesters. Grothman later called the Capitol protesters slobs.
Do you regret that?
Well, in the background here, we have people blowing horns outside my window. These people are uncouth slobs. Those are the type of people who are trying to thwart Governor Walker.
Sleep-deprived Democrats in the Assembly were not ready to call it quits. They started screaming no after tired Republicans quickly called for the vote and ended all debate. The move came after more than 60 hours of continuous debate, the longest anyone around here can remember. Within seconds, the vote was over, and Democrats were outraged. The chants got louder and louder as Republicans walked off the floor one by one. The bill passed 51-17. It happened so fast, some Democrats never got the chance to vote. 4 Republicans voted against the bill. Democrats say it was an illegal vote.
They have chosen to close down debate when we had 15 people ready to talk and probably more ready to join the debate. That was wrong and illegal.
They have the right to pass the bill, but they do not have the right to silence us. They do not have the right to take away our dissent. This was disgusting.
Republicans left the building surrounded by state troopers and in no mood to stop to answer questions.
Representative Souter, can you tell us, was this an illegal vote?
Of course not.
Republican State Representative Joel Clayfish says Democrats had plenty of time to make their point.
They were holding the taxpayers of the state hostage by not allowing us to get to the vote. They had no intention of us taking the vote, and our obligations are to the citizens and taxpayers of Wisconsin.
Democrats are now talking with lawyers to see if they can legally challenge the vote. Republicans say they did nothing wrong. It was another tense night inside the state capitol as peaceful protesters found out they were under court order to leave. Law enforcement, including Milwaukee police, stood shoulder to shoulder as the protesters did their thing. Many protesters have been here 2 or more weeks, and they weren't ready to leave until they could see the court order.
If we do have a court order, contempt of court can carry a 6-month sentence.
So it was read to them.
To remove unauthorized materials and people remaining in the state capitol after 6 p.m. today.
Then the protesters wanted to make sure all the signs wouldn't be taken down after they left. The Capitol Police Chief assured them the signs would stay for now as he tried to convince the protesters to leave without being arrested.
I'm asking you to leave. I'm asking you to leave now. I'm asking because we need to bring some.
It's been 2 hours since the court order was issued for the protesters to leave, and they're still here. And their biggest concern is once they leave, they don't know when they'll be allowed back in.
But around 9 o'clock, 3 hours after the court order was issued, the protesters slowly walked out of the Capitol, singing and high-fiving each other and lawmakers.
How do you feel about this moment?
I feel amazing. We've won a big battle, and they're going to win the next one.
Once outside, they were greeted with cheers from supporters.